If you're seeing your ad costs rise, your outreach isn't working, your sales calls are dropping in quality, your closers are getting burnt out, then in this video, I'm going to show you why this happens and why this is not sustainable for any agency owner. First of all, let me ask you a simple question. What if, let's assume your sales calls, one of them is worth $100. What if they were worth $2,600? They were worth like 2.6, 2.7K dollars. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that without hiring more closers, hiring more setters, without spending more on ads, without changing your offer. All you do here is educate your audience in advance. So what it helps you do is to pre-sell clients on sales calls, to talk to only people who are qualified and interested in your service. You are able to scale predictably. You don't have to rely on referrals. You are able to create trust and authority. You increase the trust signals in your prospect's mind around your offer, around you. You build authority and trust in your market. But first of all, who am I? So I've been working with agency owners for the past 2, 3 years. I have done appointment booking for a lot of agencies. I've worked with 8-figure agencies, 7-figure agencies, and I have run a lot of cold email campaigns. I have run outreach campaigns. But the best results I've gotten were for clients who we used content. We use long form content to pre-sale clients, or we use long form content to generate attention and then convert that into closed deals. So one of them is Anaf. He got to $30,000 per month just using his micro authority niche YouTube channel, and we use that in a sales process. And today I'm going to explain how. And also, this is also the same process that people who make tens of millions of dollars use, like Serge Guattari. So this was about who am I, and now first let's understand why this happens and what happens with most agencies today. So they do outreach, they run ads, but the sales calls dry up, and the panic sets in. Like they have to spend more and more on ads because in ads you have to keep making new offers, or your cost to book a call increases. In outreach, one offer stops working, so you don't book any calls, so you panic, so you spend more money on ads to make up for the lost pipeline. So you get a lot of cold leads. It floods you with cold leads. The setters, they are pressured to hit numbers, so their job is to book meetings, so they book more meetings. They book anyone who has a budget. Your calendar, it fills with strangers who barely even know you, so you hire more closers to handle the load, so you have more meetings. You might think that this would help you, but as more closers, you also have to hire more managers, and your cost to acquire clients doubles. Your cash flow gets lower. Your ROAS goes to hell, and this is a vicious cycle. So this is very bad. This can convert an agency to a loss-making company. Even like you keep booking calls, but your ticket size they are not able to buy. So you have to keep spending more on ads, and the cost just increases as it is cold audience. They don't know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. So your sales calls have to work harder, and you have to keep hiring more people as you book more and more meetings, as you're unable to close from a few meetings. So this is what happens, and this is a vicious cycle. But today I will show you how to solve this with organic content infrastructure, and how a lot of agency owners are using that. Exactly, I will show you the backend processes of how this works. I will show you behind the scene results from agency owners who have implemented this. And using this, people have gone from completely unpredictable revenue of few $1,000s to multi-five figures like $30,000 within 90 days using this. So why this happens is because people rely on short-term tactics, and they use this non-leveraged sales process, which is like just doing outreach or just booking a call with someone by just running a normal VSL funnel ad, them filling the application, you booking a call, and then the closer trying to close the cold prospect, which doesn't have a lot of leverage. These are short-term tactics. These are not designed for long-term growth, which is what I'm going to be talking today. Let's look at some actual numbers. So basically, $7,000 on ads, there's 700 about 700 leads generated, and after less than $1,000 there are 200-300 leads generated. Now you might be saying that, yeah, the person who has spent $7,000 in ads, he has to get 7 times the amount of leads as someone who has spent about $1,000 in ads, right? And he should be able to close 7 times more. It should be scaling linearly. Like if he spends $70,000, he gets the same results. 7,000, 1,000, same results. But there's a difference in the sales process here. So let's look at the actual data. So after $7,000 in ad spend, 65 calls are booked, and after $1,000 in ad spend, 70 calls are booked, less than $1,000. And this is very mind blowing because the number of closes, they are more for the less than $1,000 in ad spend. So you close more by spending thousand less than $1,000 in ads, by spending less than $1,000 in ads, as compared to spending $7,000 in ads. But there is a fundamental difference here. In this in this process, we use educated and engaged leads. We use education and nurturing mechanisms to increase the value of the leads. So basically, here the prospect is completely unfamiliar with what you do, what you sell. They just see your offer. They might be willing to buy, or they might be willing to look at what you sell. But here, they have watched some of your videos. They are educated. You put out certain type of material or content as in front of them that makes them trust you, and so now they ask you to book a call, and now they are also pre-sold. So more calls are being booked here, and more deals are being closed here. So this is how it looks like. So by spending 1/7 on marketing, you generate more sales calls and qualified businesses. The only answer on how to do this is educated and engaged leads. So not just worrying about getting a lot of leads, loving the number that, yeah, I get 50 to 100 meetings a month, but the show up rate is only 20%. I don't make any money. But instead, you book 20 to 30 calls who are pre-sold, who are educated, and you make more revenue. You don't even need a lot of setters. Don't need a lot of closers. You need a leverage mechanism to educate and engage the leads that you book. So yeah, this is what I showed you. So the old process is force and lie. So you are focused just on getting them to book a call, cold prospects, and then handing them out to your closer, and then him using force and lies like deceptive sales tactics, like over promising the world, like guaranteeing $10,000 additionally plus refund plus whatever if they buy. So you have to use this. You have to use deceptive sales tactics, and your return investment on it is still bad. Your cash conversion cycle is still bad. So basically ROI. So you spend $1 on ads and you get $2-3 back. But here, someone like us who is using leverage in his process, like my clients, so they get ten or even thousands of dollars instead of just $2-3 in return. And here cash conversion cycle. So how long does it take for you to turn $1 to whatever the ROI is? So the time. So it's not like you just run an ad today and book a call for tomorrow and then try to close in then and there. It would never happen. Like you cold calling someone or booking a call with someone and then the next day he doesn't even know you and you try to sell a $5,000 deal, like a 1 day cash conversion cycle. It doesn't happen. So you need the correct KPIs in ROI, in return on investment. You need to have leverage here so you get more return on your investment, and your cash conversion cycle should be good enough, like a few weeks to a month, like a decent cash conversion cycle, not too long or not too short. Now let's look at how to do this. So you can have either just cold leads which are worth like $100, or you can, so now let's look at some numbers and how to do this. So basically, as I said, if someone is completely not familiar but willing to know what your offer is, the value of that lead is $100. But if he's somewhat familiar here, the value of that call changes from 100 to $300. So if you watch one of your assets, one of your videos, and then he is a little bit familiar with your offer, with your process, the value is $300. But if he's really familiar, like he has gone through your entire YouTube channel, your case studies, he loves what you do, now it is worth $2,700. Like it can even go up to 3,000, 4,000, $500, 5 figures, by just using leverage, using content to nurture them, to educate them. Using this entire process, you can convert a $100 value call to a three, four, five, $10,000 value call. So basically, you can sell really high ticket, and your closers don't have to spend a lot of time. Unlike ads, you don't have to keep spending, you don't have to keep booking meetings. The meetings you book, they are pre-sold. So basically, what we do here is in top of the funnel, we get the attention, we convert that to a community, we create long form content assets. Long form, why? Because they get to see you, they get to know you, you build trust, you build authority. Long form content builds the highest level of trust signals out of any content format. That is why the best people do this, that is why we do this. And then you create like attention generating sales assets, attention converting sales assets within that community or within the audience that you have. And then the seller books them, or either they just say, yeah, mostly what would happen is they say that, yeah, we want to buy, like how do we start, instead of asking you like what do you sell on sales calls, or before a meeting they would say things like how do I start, because they are interested, and the conversion cycle here is long enough for them to get to know about your offer properly. And then at the correct time you sell them as they are warm hot. You use the assets, you can even use webinars to re-engage the old people and everything. This is how you can use leverage in your sales process. And just to give you an overview, so why this works is, so the fundamentals, like someone who doesn't know, like, or trust you, he isn't going to buy from you. He has to climb this whole mountain of objections, his mountain of doubt on like what do you sell, what do you do, before they are ready to invest in your main offer. So you have to create nurturing mechanisms to convert the cold prospect to a warm hot prospect who is pre-sold, who wants to buy from you. So you use long form videos in your middle of the funnel, you use communities, you use groups, even in the outreach you do, you use some front end offers or sales assets. So you don't just try to get them on a call, but you get to increase the value of the call that you book. Even if you run ads, you use the process and you increase the value of the calls that you book by using the process. So this is what works. On the top of the funnel, you educate and attract your audience. And then in the middle of the funnel, you nurture and qualify them. You nurture and qualify them. And then the bottom of the funnel, you convert them with frictionless offers. And then by the time they hit your calendar, so they are not just aware, they are ready to buy. And this system isn't just something I pulled out of here. I have used this for my clients. I have worked with a lot of agencies and some people like Sergey who makes tens of millions of dollars every year using the exact process. And props to him, a lot of these insights I got from him. So I didn't just invent this. This is proven and has worked for thousands of agencies by now. So everyone who you respect in the agency space, they are not just winning because of better ads. They are winning because of content assets that do the heavy lifting. The secret here is education. The education step that gives the leverage. So educated prospects, and every piece of long form content, it increases the buying temperature of the prospect. It warms up the prospect. It reduces objections. It builds familiarity. It multiplies your revenue. It creates higher trust signals in the minds of your prospects using this entire process. And so you don't have to face these problems like spend more on ads, hire more setters, talk to people who are not interested to buy from you, just having a lot of meetings but low show up rate and low close rate, low revenue in general. This is how you can entirely change your business. And this is exactly what I do for my clients. And that is what you would need to make the system work. So what you would need to make the system work is the front end process, which is the ideation, scripting, the titles and thumbnails part, the full YouTube management you would have to do. So basically on the front end, you need to attract people who are in your niche, who want to buy from you. So basically if you're into real estate, there are specific consumption patterns of real estate agents that buy marketing services online. So the market leaders in your industry, they create certain type of videos that attract these people, so they generate a lot of revenue. So you have to understand those consumption patterns, and then you have to ideate the videos, you have to script, you have to create the titles and thumbnails accordingly. So you attract the right ICP. You don't just create broad videos. You have to become a niche authority that attracts the right type of people, and then you convert and own the attention to a single point of contact, which is a community. And then you re-engage the existing community members with sales assets which are regularly posted on YouTube. Then distribute them. You can also use it in your outreach. You can, as I showed you, even in your ads, you can use that to create more familiar prospects. So in your ads, you can add the education step. So from your ads, you don't just get cold prospects. You get them, you funnel them to a community, and then you re-engage them. You keep nurturing them, so they buy your high ticket services, and you don't just lose out on the leads that you got from ads. So the hundreds of leads you might be generating, you can make 20 to 30 times more money from them by using this process. And as I said, this is what I do. So if you want a full walkthrough of how you can implement this for your business for free, you can book a call with me, link in description. You can also message me on Instagram on if you have any questions about it, and I can just get some data on your offer and even build this system for you, give you a walkthrough for free. And if you want to work together, I can do this for you, all done for you, guaranteed 20 to 30 pre-sold calls because we have done this in the past for our clients within 90 days within implementing our infrastructure. So yeah, but no pressure at all. If you want a free walkthrough, just let me know, and I can assure you that after the call, you would walk away with an insight that changes your business entirely and that changes your perspective completely, and you learn something very valuable. Because I cannot explain everything in this video, as I already made it very long, I cannot make it longer. So, and this also needs to be custom personalized, as everyone has a different niche. So if you're interested, just let me know, and thank you again for watching.